So I think this has been in the works for a while. It all, I think digital lending sort of took off after the pandemic hit us. But what also happened was uh, because of the pandemic, there were also a lot of bounces. So people were not making payments on time, and that was the time that RBI actually started taking notice of these digital platforms, and because they had, I think, 2 or 3x the bounce rate of regular lenders. So that's how it started. Then sometime in June, RBI told NBFCs and ask the digital lending platforms to disclose who their partners were uh, at the time of making the loan. So the borrower should know from which NBFC he or she is ultimately taking a loan. Uh, this went on, and sometime from November to Jan, we saw Google take off a lot of lending apps from the Play Store. Most of these were of Chinese origin, and they had a lot of issues in the sense that they charged a high amount of fees, upfront fees, and they would start harassing and calling people even if they were delayed by their in their payments by a day, and so on. So the RBI took notice of that, and many of these apps are now gone from the Play Store. Now, coming back to this particular step, see, one thing is clear. I think digitization in lending is only going to increase, especially when it comes to the sourcing and the application part. Uh, you will see more and more people applying for loans online, getting approved online, getting loans approved online. Uh, so this brings in few aspects which should be considered. One is when people apply for a loan, they submit a lot of documents. Their, PII, personally identifiable information, such as Aadhaar card, PAN card, and so on. Uh, and unfortunately, Indian NBFCs have not been regulated the same way as banks have. And the digital lending apps have generally tied up with some of the quote unquote unscrupulous kind of NBFCs. So there is a huge fraud risk. I mean, there have been cases that I'm aware of where people's documents have been used to take loans on their behalf, or documents are sent from a district office to a regional head office through post, and or in a bus or something. So there are a lot of ways where areas where fraud can happen. The other thing is lot of digital lending platforms, they focused more on the origination side, but lending in India is also about the last mile, which is collections, and you actually need feet on the ground to be able to collect, and collect in a humane way, empathizing with the borrower. There are sometimes genuine reasons why people can't, pay on time. A lot of these apps had access to a lot of personal information of borrowers, and there have been cases where they've created WhatsApp groups with relatives, sort of phone numbers, and then humiliated them in front of relatives. So it's not been all good behavior from some of these apps. Then there is this other angle, because a lot of these are not based out of India. This could be laundered money, which again presents other forms of risk. So I think it's a good step that the RBI is forming this committee, and having a company like CloudSec, which kind of specializes in cyber security. So the fraud kind of angle is taken care of, and we have to make sure that people's documents and whatever they submit, it's safe. At the same time, the algorithms that are created, and the permission some of these apps seek from the borrowers, they are reasonable and they don't go over the board, and the data of the borrowers is not misused. So overall, I think that's what they are looking for. And also, anyone who is lending, I think, should be regulated at the same level as banks are. They should be held to the same level of accountability, because underlying all of this lending, it's still the same banking system. The money flows at the end within the banking system, and if there are large defaults with any NBFC, it has an impact on the overall financial system. So yeah, these are my thoughts. I think it's a good first step. Let's see, what some of the recommendations are that come out of this.